Good evening, everyone. I was quite reluctant to do this, but some of the organizers persuaded me. There is a line in Savitri, a music beat of winged united souls. And that is the power that brings the change. And I think we have to understand one thing about Auroville. We didn't choose each other. We didn't land up here to be with each other. We came because our souls demanded it of us. And I think we need to go into that dimension a little bit, into the soul dimension. Two things I wanted to say from the Mahabharata. Whenever I'm a little disturbed, and the year has been terribly disturbing, in some ways it's astounding to see the level of self-deception that some people are continuing to live in. But we are a collective realization. We are tied to each other whether we like it or not. So I don't believe very much in political actions. If we are a collective and we are a spiritual collective, the things we have to do have to come from that dimension, which means from the higher hemisphere, not from the lower. It is true that we have faced the sort of things that people should not. But, 32 years before India became free, Mother saw India free. She told Sri Aurobindo that India is free. And that kind of liberated Sri Aurobindo from having to focus on India's liberation. But when India became free, she's still not united. She's divided. And if you look at the history of India, since independence, there has been war after war after war, and this is all human distortion. There is a kind of a magic breath that stands over Auroville. There's another line in Savitri which says, all here is miracle and can by miracle change. I think what we need to do, first of all, everybody has to do what they have to do. I'm not judging what people want to do. But I think what we need to do from an inner dimension is to create this miraculousness which is Auroville. It is wonderful to be here. It remains miraculous even when it's ugly. It's interesting that there was a letter that Sri Aurobindo wrote to Mother in Japan in 1915, and Mother issued it out as a message for the 15th of August, 1968. Remember that Auroville was inaugurated in February 1968, and this is a message she puts out as a darshan message on his birthday in 1968. One needs to have a calm heart, a settled will, entire self-abnegation, and the eyes constantly fixed on the beyond to live undiscouraged in times like these, which are truly a period of universal decomposition. We are here to hasten the reality of the next step. We're not here to celebrate being human. So let's not be too human in our responses. Let's find that dimension that where the unity exists. One of the last messages, and I'm sorry, I'm imposing some of these things because I prefer that it comes in Mother's words than in my own. One of the last conversations Mother had in 1972 with three of the organizers of Auroville. Roger Anger, Navajata, and Udar Pinto, who were some of the initial people who were organizing Auroville, doing many things for Auroville. And she tells them, she's actually quite upset with them, and she says, now is the time to be heroic. Heroism is not what people say it is. It is to be united. And the divine help will always be with those who have, in all sincerity, resolved to be heroic. You are here now, I mean on earth, because you once chose to be. You don't remember it, but I know. That's why you are here. Well, you must stand up to the task. You must make an effort. You must conquer pettiness and limitation. And above all, tell the ego, your time is over. We want a race without ego, with the divine consciousness in place of the ego. That's what we want. The divine consciousness, which will enable the race to develop and the supramental being to be born. Remember that in 1969, one of the revelations, and this comes to her from the consciousness that has formed into what she calls the mentor consciousness, and this consciousness insists that Mother write something down. She speaks about all this in a series of conversations in the agenda, and this consciousness, which is she calls the conscience du surhomme, it tells her, we shall attempt to make Auroville le berceau du surhomme. And so she asks, why we? What's the we for? And the consciousness says, the attempt will be to get the Aurovillians to collaborate. So what are we supposed to collaborate in? Some more of the human soup? We've seen what it does. And I agree with Frederick, let's not go backwards. And I am convinced, I live that truth every day, that Auroville's a miracle. We are so lucky to be here. And if somehow this unity we have, if we can continue to express it in whichever way possible, I think it exists on the soul level. We have to bring it into the material plane. And even though she said, I saw in one of the letters in this book, that mere goodwill to try and experiment for humanity can allow you to enter into Auroville. But it seems to me the time spirit is saying, no, that's not good enough. You have to do an enabling sadhana. You have to be here for the yoga, and you have to dedicate yourself to the powers of the future. Look at the mess the world is in. We need to do better. And let's not point fingers at those people who are doing what they're doing. It's their karma. Let's not take it on. Let's not imitate them. Let's be what we can be, which is united souls, and create this music beat of winged united souls. I'm going to end with Savitri, because for me, Sri Aurobindo says everything in Savitri. The divine intention suddenly shall be seen. The end vindicate intuition's sure technique. Auroville is born of the highest degree. We have the grace and the gratitude and the fullness of heart to be part of it. Let's keep that truth in our consciousness.